Welcome back to Winter, Day 8 of the Stardew Valley Min-Max and 100% Perfection Guide. We will be accomplishing a few tasks in the morning here at the island before we head back to the main valley to attend the Festival of Ice, which is not really necessary to attend for perfection, but it will give us a small boost of friendship with every NPC we talk to there. While we are at the valley, we will also pick up a very important lucky item and tend to any tasks around the farm that are available. After the festival, we will travel back to Ginger Island and check out the Pirate's Cove once more, although it will be much more lively this time. We'll collect more golden walnuts and be able to purchase another island upgrade, and we're getting closer and closer to 100 walnuts and unlocking the mysterious key room. In fact, we will have over 100 golden walnuts by Winter Day 12 and visit the golden walnut room for the first time on Winter Day 13, so you can look forward to all that coming soon. For now, let's get right into Winter Day 8, where we are fishing in the island farm pond to complete our Ginger Island unique fish collection. On the previous day at the island, we caught the lionfish from the ocean and the stingray from the Pirate's Cove. The third one here is the blue discus, which can be caught in the freshwater on the island, like the pond and river here on the farm. So we should have one really soon here. They aren't too rare. This one should be it. We're gonna go ahead and reel it in, and it is a blue discus. Now that we've caught that, there's just a few things left to do on the island before heading back to the mainland for the Festival of Ice, including this secret note we just found. We can actually dig up the golden walnut at this location now. Of course, we'll mine the muscle rock along the way, and now we can dig up this spot for a golden walnut and a pearl actually. But we are more interested in the golden walnuts for perfection and of course unlocking the key golden walnut room. Our inventory is quite full, as you can tell, so we'll have to get that organized. And something else you may have noticed is we actually woke up at Ginger Island rather than on the main farm. This is of course because when you pass out at Ginger Island you should wake up at the island house, but when I played there was a bug where after reloading a save you would start the day back at the main farm house. To work around this bug for this day, I just played it right away rather than reloading the save, and thankfully I did not have to restart this day, as starting off the day right away at the island here does allow for us to get some good tasks done. And this, of course, includes checking out the dig site. Not really for the resources, although of course we'll get the bone shards while we're here, but mainly to see if there are any panning spots, because panning at the dig site is the only way to get the fossilized tail, which we'll eventually need for the island field office to donate to get the golden walnut reward from that. And it is pretty important we do check back here often, because it is only a 20% chance to get the fossilized tail when panning there, and that means we need to get a panning spot in the first place, which you can see there is not always one that shows up. So anyways, after that we are going to head back to the mainland by taking Willie's boat, and as you can see, Willie's is actually closed for the festival, so it is a very good thing we started off at the island today, because we wouldn't have been able to get there from Willie. We will have to think of an alternate means, probably crafting a island warp totem to get back there later this evening, but that shouldn't be too much a problem. I do think we have a dragon's tooth, so we should be able to make that work. Anyways, as we pass through town, we'll check out the special orders board and pick up the Juicy Bugs Wanted quest. Again, Clint's quest to get the Geode Crusher isn't very good. I don't want the Geode Crusher. It's so much more cost effective to just break open geodes at Clint's. And with the quality bobber, at least we might be able to get some use out of that. At the very least, it is a crafting recipe that we'll need for perfection. Of course, the same can be said for the Geode Crusher. We'll need to craft that eventually for perfection, but the quality bobber should at least be a little bit more useful than it. Now that we're back at the main farm, we're going to go ahead and organize our inventory quite a bit, and I'm also going to finally move these crystallariums into our new big shed, because we will end up having quite a few more crystallariums. I'm going to craft as many as I can, which only turns out to be one more, I guess. So I will try to transmute some of my iron into gold to get some more crystallariums going, because we do have an excess of iron and not a whole lot of gold, so I do think it is sort of worth it in this case. So anyway, we'll have 9 crystallariums to place, and I'll grab the 9 jades as well to fill them with. And looking in my monster drops chest, you can see that we do have 2 dragon's teeth, so we should be fine for crafting a island warp totem to get back there later. But first, let's go ahead and cycle these kegs, of course, with the coffee beans, and go ahead into our big shed for the first time, where we will start placing some crystallariums. So 9 isn't a whole lot for now, but hopefully we can fill this shed with jade crystallariums, or whatever else we want to put in them. After that, we'll head on over to the greenhouse, where we do have some ancient fruit ready. I'm going to go ahead and put these straight into the seed makers, since it does take time to process, and just get some seeds right away. I'm going to save that gold star one for the bundle, the missing bundle that unlocks the movie theater, since it does require some gold star ancient fruit. And then the other ancient fruit I will turn into seeds, so we can plant more in the greenhouse and hopefully get a lot of ancient seeds for the year 2. Finishing off the farm chores, we'll craft an island warp totem, so we can just get there very easily later, and then we'll head out of the farm. We have a bit of time before the Festival of Ice starts. We just need to get there before 2 p.m., so we are going to take advantage of a secret note we found a few days ago at the beginning of winter, and head up here with a rabbit's foot, give it to the truck driver, and we receive the special charm, which will permanently increase our daily luck by a value of 0.025. And if you remember, daily luck can range from negative 0.1 to 0.1. So whatever daily luck is determined at the start of the day, we'll add 0.025 to it. So we'll always have a better luck day, just by a slight amount, but it can be noticeable. Back at the farm, we're back in the greenhouse, where we harvest our star fruit and replant them with the ancient fruit seeds we got from the seed makers earlier. And then I'll go ahead and speed up all of the inventory management and cycling kegs, and then we'll go ahead and quickly harvest the mushrooms, pet all of our coop animals, then we'll go ahead and pet all of our barn animals, and I will just be keeping all of the animal products in the auto grabbers, because there's really no reason to take those products out until I want to use them for something. After that, we'll grab everything we need to bring to Ginger Island, then we'll harvest our crab pots, get all of that stuff put away, and I am bringing my budget TV to Ginger Island to place in the farmhouse there, just so we can check the daily luck there, and more importantly, if we happen to be there on a Sunday, wake up at the farmhouse on a Sunday that is, we can check the Queen of Sauce recipe. After all of that stuff is put away, we can finally head on over to the Festival of Ice. We did get here a bit early at 1 o'clock instead of waiting until right before 2 p.m., but that's alright, there wasn't really much left to do, so we're here now. We're gonna go ahead and talk to all of the NPCs we can in order to get more friendship points with them. And it is just the same as normally talking to an NPC, where we would get plus 20 friendship points, which isn't that much. It's only 8% of a heart, which is 250 friendship points. But every little bit counts, and of course festivals are a great time to get free points, because all of the NPCs are gathered at once, and it virtually takes 0 time. Of course the festival does take up some in-game time, but while we're at the festival, time is frozen. You may have noticed we had a dialogue option with Penny earlier, and it doesn't matter what option you pick, all options don't have any effect on friendship. The same thing with Willy down here. None of the options have any effect on friendship, so feel free to say whatever you want. Now, the most important thing about the festival, of course, in a perfection run is asking, is it required for perfection? And it is not. Although the NPC shop vendor there at the igloo, which we'll see very shortly, does sell a rare crow, as you can see, the rare crow for 5000 G. I won't be purchasing it because we have already gotten that rare crow from the traveling cart. So we don't need to actually attend this festival again. I'm just doing it for the friendship, and also the prize we'll get from the fishing competition here, which we are about to begin. The competition here is pretty straightforward. You just cast your fishing rod into the water, although you have to cast it at a very, very short distance, so you'll make sure to line that up. Again, if you mess up, you can always restart the day if you really need to, but it is pretty straightforward. Mary Lewis is counting down. We're going to go run up here, and as you can see, we can get our bobber into the water by just casting very short, and as long as you don't miss any fish, you'll be sure to win, so just be careful when catching the fish. Although I suppose if you get unlucky and just get trash a bunch of times in a row, you could potentially just lose, but I think the requirement is 5 or more fish, and as I mentioned, the reward that I wanted from it earlier is not the 3 fishing lures, which may or may not come in handy, but the sailor's cap, which of course is just a pure vanity item, but I do like the sailor's cap, and maybe we'll put it on the horse, because you can put hats on the horse. One more thing to note that's a bit unrelated while we're fishing here is in multiplayer, if you tie at 5 or more fish, all players will get the reward, so it is a good idea to try to coordinate that and catch just 5 fish in multiplayer so that everybody can get the rewards. Again, the fishing lures are okay if you want to use them, and the sailor cap is fine if you like that vanity item, but other than that, it's really no big deal. After you get the rewards for the first time, all future years will just be 2000 G, which isn't a whole lot of money, but that's alright. The festivals are still always fun to attend. And we did indeed win the fishing competition with 6 fish. We got the sailor's cap, and then the fishing lures, which was a magnet, barbed hook, and dressed spinner, so those may come in handy later. And one thing to note is after the fishing competition ends, we head straight home, so if you do want to talk to any NPCs or buy anything from the shop at that festival, make sure you do it before you start the fishing competition. When we return home, we put our awards from the fishing competition away and make sure we have the island warp totem that we crafted earlier. Go ahead and use it to warp on over to Ginger Island, where we'll be heading back to the Pirates Cove. It is a bit late since the festival ended at 10 p.m., but the pirates do stay at the cove until the end of the day, and we can tell they're here by the little light coming from the cove, and we can hear their music slightly outside. And then we walk in, we can see all the pirates, hear the great Pirate Cove music, and go ahead and figure out what the Pirates Cove has to offer us in a perfection run. Unfortunately, there is a bit left to be desired in my opinion, as the only thing we can really get out of this is 3 golden walnuts from playing the dart game 3 times. We can also dress up like a pirate by wearing either a pirate hat or eye patch, and if we talk to the bartender pirate, we will be given a mead, just 1 per day though. The pirates do have some fun dialogue, and the atmosphere of the cove is very lively and nice to look at, but I still wish there was a little more content to the Pirates Cove, like a friendable NPC, side quest, shop vendor, or even if Willy were to visit the cove. Anyway, it's still a nice addition that is really fun to stumble upon your first time playing, but after we complete the dart game, there won't be any reason to visit the pirates again. Looking at the dart minigame now, the goal is to score exactly 301 points, which are scored by throwing darts at sections of the board which have unique point values. The best strategy is to start off by trying to get as many points as possible, which is done by aiming for the triple 20 spot indicated by the 3 times marker. This spot will give us 60 points each time we land, which is better than the bullseye's 50 points. Once we get close to 300 points, we will need to land darts on smaller values, as we need exactly 301 points and cannot go over. For example, I'm currently at 61 points to go. I aimed for the triple 20 to get 60 points, but I missed and only got 20. So now I want to get 40 points, and I could do that by the double 20, which I just did there, and then ending off with just a single point in the 1 section. That completes the second dart challenge, so now we just have to complete one more to get the third and final golden walnut, which is the most challenging, as we can only have 10 dart throws to get 301 points. The minimum amount of throws we can do this in is 6. 5 times 60 is 300, then plus 1. So we basically have 4 error throws, but the input for this minigame can be a little confusing. Basically, you aim with your cursor, and around where you aim, the yellow circle will move at random around that aim point. You want to pay attention to the center of the yellow circle, and when the center point is lined up with your target, you hold down the input button until that yellow circle has become as small as possible, and then release. Whatever the yellow circle looks like when you release the input is the area the dart can land in, so you want it to be as small as possible so it is guaranteed to land at your target. Anyways, like most things, the dart minigame does take some practice to get used to and can be challenging at first, but we were able to get all 3 golden walnuts, and the only thing that is really left at the Pirate's Cove is we can fish up the Gourmand Bombo Big statue if we want to from the reef down there. We may do that later, but for now we are going to head on back to the central portion of the island and go north a little bit to where the island trader is, as we do have 10 golden walnuts now to spend on that upgrade. So we'll head up there and purchase that and see what the island trader has to offer, and a lot of it is just vanity items, and there is the banana and mango saplings which we can trade for, but I would rather get those from opening golden coconuts with using the predictor, the geode predictor. But the one thing that the island trader does have is the recipe for banana pudding and the deluxe retaining soil, so we'll need to get those eventually, of course, for the craft everything perfection goal. And for the saplings using golden coconuts, the island trader can also help with that, because we can get a golden coconut for the price of 10 regular coconuts from the trader. We make a quick stop at the dig site to pan in hopes for a fossilized tail, but unfortunately we just get some iridium ore. After that, we'll have just 2 hours left in the day, so we'll end it at the volcano, and that'll bring us to the end of this day and the end of this video. Next time, we will be continuing our volcano runs to gather lots of resources, and soon another cycle of starfruit wine from our kegs will be ready. So we'll be sure to craft even more kegs for even more wine with all of the wood we have been gathering and saving up, along with the oak resin from our tree farm. Before you know it, we'll reach 100 golden walnuts total on winter day 12 and be able to unlock the mysterious key golden walnut room, unlocking lots of new content and possibilities. If you are looking forward to all of that, please consider subscribing so you can be sure to see the videos when they come out, and feel free to leave a comment. Perhaps let me know your thoughts and experiences with the Festival of Ice and the Pirate's Cove. I personally really like the Pirate's Cove music, atmosphere, and darts minigame, but wish there was a little more reason to return there. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye.